Oh hey, look! A brief cameo in X-Men 97 that gives me the perfect excuse to talk about one of the characters I had on that wheel last week. Serendipitous! Funny thing about Quicksilver, I put him on the wheel for color coordination purposes, but as far as I know, he's never actually been on the X-Men proper. He's been part of X-Factor, the Uncanny Avengers, or Avengers Unity Division as it's called in universe, the mainline Avengers team. He even kinda sorta married his way into the Inhumans at one point. But the X-Men? Nah, better things to do, I guess. I mean, technically speaking, he's not even a mutant anymore. By which I mean, he never has been? It's come up in a previous video, but back in 2015 they made it so Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver's powers were the result of experiments by the High Evolutionary, even though that horrifically overcomplicates not only previous stories, but even whole connected characters. Case in point, when the Scarlet Witch depowered a majority of the world's mutants in the aftermath of House of M, Quicksilver was among them, losing access to his famous super speed. Suicidally depressed because this was mid to late 2000s Marvel, he was brought to the Inhumans Moon Society to help recover, and asked Black Bolt to undergo Terrigenesis, the process by which Inhumans gain their powers, in the hopes of restoring his abilities. But since there was zero evidence this would do anything good and was much more likely to kill him instead, Black Bolt said no. Quicksilver managed to do it anyways, but instead of getting his regular powers back, he developed time travel powers instead. Powers that he used to steal Terrigen crystals from the future in an effort to repower even more mutants. Unfortunately, using the Terrigen crystals for this purpose proved to be unstable and, worst of all, temporary. His actions caused a lot of problems, not the least of which kickstarting a war between the Inhumans and the US, and cost Quicksilver his marriage and a lot of trust with his daughter. He ultimately did get his speed powers back, but the cause isn't fully clear, at least as far as I can tell. Oh, and then he went on TV and tried to pin all the shitty things he'd done on a Skrull imposter. Just to be clear, since I know this stuff gets confusing, there was no Skrull imposter. He's turned it around since then and reconnected with his daughter, but, well, the main reason he's not in competition with Namor for biggest asshole among mutant heroes is that he isn't one anymore. I don't really know where I was going with this. I was gonna make a whole point about how it's stupid that Pietro and Wanda aren't mutants anymore, but this whole story only happened because Pietro was a mutant, and now I'm suddenly scared for Miss Marvel. Next week, I might have another X-Men villain to talk about. Or I'll just pick another random adjacent character. Guess we'll see.